Hi, we're Transfer Travel, and today's podcast is going to be all about spontaneous travel. So I'm Maisie, I'm the head of commercial here at TT.
I'm Sam, Business Development Assistant at Transfer Travel.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for joining me.
Thank you. No, thank you for having me. We're going to get into all things spontaneous travel.
Love it.
Who doesn't love spontaneous travel?
You're so right.
I love spontaneous travel.
So the origins of spontaneous travel, let's literally go back to the start. Where do you kind of feel like it's come from? Obviously, like there's been a bit of like a culture shift, lifestyle shift, I suppose you can say. So
definitely, I think, especially not to get back into, well, post-pandemic, I think spontaneous travel now is such a big thing compared to like back before COVID. There wasn't much hybrid working. Not many people would work from home, whereas like nowadays, there's so many people who with work, they've at least got 2 days where they can work from home. And I think that definitely counters into like remote working, and especially with like digital nomads as well. Like that's such a big thing. I saw something somewhere, it's like 35 million people are now like digital nomads, like traveling around the world while also like working. And especially I think a lot with like influencers as well when they're out. And I went to, where was I was in Bali, and I was in a cafe. I was just working. I was in a cafe, and in the cafe that was like, because there was just so many people there with their like laptops, and they were just all working while also like being like traveling and like going around. So it is like really interesting now to kind of see how different it is. And I think a lot of people, especially since COVID, and being, you know, we were locked away for how many years, not allowed out.
Locked away.
They really take travel into like consideration as well, because like it's, as you're saying, like it shouldn't really be a luxury. I think everybody should be able to go and travel. And I think a lot of people now are like trying to do everything they can to get there and to go away on their different breaks.
Yeah, obviously talking about like the digital nomads and things like that, it's kind of a product of being in such like a digital front world, which is great. Obviously there's so many options. You can work from anywhere. If you like have a laptop, and obviously your job allows you to do that. If you're in like construction, then you know you're probably not going to do that, but you know what I mean. But yeah, no, I think it's great to kind of have that option and do that. But do we not think as well, social media surely has played a huge part in, especially people like going away and
a massive part, because I think back in like the day prior to like big traveling and like spontaneous travel, not many people were like filming and going about it, so you weren't really seeing it, like especially like TikTok's such a big like travel source. Everybody's going on there to find their like tips and tricks. And I think especially like nowadays, like back in the day, no one really had that, people like filming where they're going or what they're doing, like showing everything. And I think now it's just like as easy as pulling out your phone and figuring like what destination you want to go to. It's like on your fingertips. So I think people are kind of like desperate to get out there and like seeing more of what is online and knowing that they can go to these places. I think is like a massive part in it as well.
Definitely. And I feel like I'm even part of the problem, because I get serious FOMO. Like I will, or there's always something trending on like social media, wherever it's like a new destination or anything like a hot spot. Like it's so good for stuff like that, and it literally is, like you said, right at the touch of your fingertips. Even seeing people, it was either, I see it all the time, and it's like either have like 9 to 5 and it'll be like raining, obviously, and then it'll be like you can do that or move to Australia or get married or run a marathon, and it's like that's kind of like the thing. Obviously very different stuff, but the kind of hallmarks, I suppose.
Like back in the day, like people, what their expectations, get a job, get a 9 to 5, get married, have kids. Whereas now people are just like travel the world, go to this country, do this, try this food, meet these new people. So it's definitely changed within generation. A lot of people now are getting married later, or like having kids like even later, like late 30s, because they want that time to get out and explore the world and to travel. So it is really interesting to like see the difference between us and like our parents.
Yeah, definitely. Like the generational divide, I suppose.
Yeah.
So what about, speaking on that, like other behavioral kind of influences, like if we're thinking about spontaneous travel, like dynamic pricing, obviously it's like a huge huge thing at the moment. Anything kind of on that, like Skyscanner?
Yeah, 100%. There's like so many, again, on like the fingertips, like they're just there, like online. We've got so many different platforms, such as like Hotel Tonight. They're a platform that have loads of different last minute hotels that you can just jump onto, super quick and easy. There's also, like, as you said, Skyscanner. They've got like loads of price drops with alerts that will tell you these are the cheapest deals that you can go for, like grab them right now. There's also like another like platform called like Adventure Flight. So it's basically where you can like book now, pay later. I think that's like a big thing that like people are kind of like interested in at the minute, because I think especially a lot of things that's holding people back when buying travel is the price. Like people always like it's always kind of adds up. You add everything to your basket and then the end price is double what you thought it was going to be. But knowing that you could just maybe pay like a little deposit, or like maybe like pay like half, and then you know that it's like secure, and then it just like you can pay it in bits, so it doesn't feel as such a like shock price paying all of it all in one go,
like a big chunk. There'd actually be nothing worse than seeing that coming out of
so but you know, if it's just you can't see it coming out of your payment plan, you're like,
doesn't matter, it doesn't exist,
it doesn't count now anymore, it's free.
By the time you go on holiday, it's free.
Exactly, yeah, it's all free.
Exactly. Perfect. What about kind of like the shift to more spontaneous travel? Definitely, but more travelers be more experimental with like where they're going and what they're doing. I know, like, obviously on the website, the Transfer Travel website, we have like the Explore Anywhere option, and there's a bit more kind of serendipity about it.
Definitely, I think more people are like up for it, because I feel like back in the day, I think when you were to go and book a holiday, you kind of have in your mind exactly where you want to go, what times. And you would just kind of go onto the website or wherever and you just book it there and then. Whereas I think because there's so many different options, there's so many different platforms for you to have that leeway, I think you can kind of just go in, like you said, there was like the search anywhere, it's like kind of function. Because I think a lot of people are kind of looking now with like travel, there's all like the hot spots, like, you know, like Rome and stuff, and there's so many different places that you can travel to that you may not have even heard about or something. So I think that it is really interesting how the like travel is dynamic and their mindset has kind of changed towards it. They're not wanting to go to those hot spots anymore. They're wanting to find new unique places that might not have like existed or is not as big with like mass tourism either. Like it's a lot like smaller and like more cultural and like kind of more like fun and interesting to experiment with new destinations that you know aren't going to be like overpriced and like, because especially like I feel like destinations have that price because of the said destination that they're at. Like Ibiza's incredibly expensive over the summer, and I feel like you could get, and it's just so busy as well, like the flights, like going through like boarding past, like the amount of people getting on the flight, going through like passport control is just crazy compared to like if you were to go to more niche kind of quieter destinations where you're paying like half the price, you're getting, you know, the best experience as well.
Definitely. And most of the time a lot of destinations like that can be pretty similar. Like you can find something that's like a like destination, I suppose, and pay half the price, which is so much better.
Yeah, definitely.
That's pretty good. I saw this that's pretty good. I saw this study, I think it was Skyscanner to be fair, but it was about like American travelers and how they travel and attributes and things like that, and it said that 53% of American travelers booked a trip that they didn't know about before, like they'd not really heard of the destination and they just literally booked it.
Oh wow. Yeah, that is, see, I think that's the excitement as well, like being like spontaneous and free. You're just like, oh, I'm gonna, or what is it, the voucher holidays where you pay like £100 voucher holiday, so you pay £100 and you don't know the destination you're gonna get, and then you reveal it, so it's that excitement, like, oh, where are we gonna go? And I think it's like also the excitement of like sometimes when you want to go on holiday, like, you know, researching and booking, and by the time you've actually decided where you want to go, 9 times out of 10 it doesn't go out the group chat because you're all tired from all the research. But having someone give you that holiday and you're like, oh, that's more fun and exciting than actually having to go through all those steps of the holiday you originally wanted to go on.
Yeah, I remember that was like popping off. It was a few months ago. I remember I kept seeing it on TikTok and being like, you're either like gonna get so lucky and you're gonna get somewhere really good, and then there's somewhere it's like you're going to somewhere like you've already been.
Like Wales or somewhere in the UK, and you could have gone to like the Bahamas.
Exactly. I'm a bit hit and miss. I'd be the unlucky person. That's like Manchester.
Manchester.
Get in. So I guess there's obviously loads of pros and cons to spontaneous travel. So pros wise, maybe like tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I think definitely the pros of spontaneous travel is definitely that the excitement and the adrenaline that it gives you, like not knowing kind of like if you're just kind of chilling, doing nothing, and then you're like, oh, just booked a holiday, and you're like, oh, that's so exciting. And again, it's not the long process of trying to figure out where you're going to go, talking in the group chat, where we're going to go, who's free, what are these dates, and then everyone's like, I'm not free here, I can't do this date, and then it's just like never ending, and then it just gets to the point where that's the date you were supposed to go on, and then you don't even end up going on it because no one can make a decision. So I think it is definitely like the unknown element as well, like the excitement of it, and it like forces you to be more open and like flexible as well, because if you're like rigid in like, I would really want to go to this specific holiday, if you're more spontaneous and more open, you might go to a destination you've never been before, and then you might absolutely love it than one of the mainstream destinations.
And then I suppose cost savings as well, potentially, obviously, depending on how spontaneous we're going, how last minute. Sometimes you can get an absolute bargain, other times you need to kind of prep in advance, but there are kind of flash sales. Obviously, if you can be spontaneous, you might be able to go out of season. Shoulder season always is a really good one, especially for like the warmer destinations to kind of explore, which is pretty good as well. But I suppose cons, not to like put me off, but
I think definitely last minute travel can be expensive, especially like accommodation. If you're, say you've seen like a really cheap flight and you're like, wow, that flight's amazing, I'm gonna book it, but then it gets to the point where you have to find accommodation and it's like double the price it would have been maybe a month or two ago. So I think that's why transfer travel kind of comes into a good concept that way, because someone has obviously like paid the holiday a couple months prior, but they can no longer go on it, so you're getting that aspect of it being cheaper than it was a couple months ago, but you're actually paying it a couple weeks before. Whereas if you wanted to book that exact same holiday maybe 2 weeks before, it would be doubled in price. So I think it's that there's got that kind of like element as well.
I suppose it depends on like, obviously it would kind of be situational, but it kind of depends on your responsibilities as well. Like
definitely,
if you've got kids, you can't go too crazy. I mean, you can, but you know,
leave
gotta pay fines.
See
you later. Or if you're like a dink, I love that term. I love it so much. I can't wait to be a dink. Double income, no kids, fantastic. So if you kind of you don't have more stringent responsibilities, then you can do that. But obviously, if you do them, you're a little bit more restricted.
Yeah,
which is
definitely.
Super
work
annoying.
Commitments as well.
Exactly.
You see a really cheap holiday next week, you're just gonna be like, right, we can't really book it. I'm not gonna come into work next week. Sorry guys, I've just got a really cheap holiday.
Yeah, imagine. I'd be like, what do you mean? Can I come? So what about kind of mishaps, I suppose, in spontaneous travel? Obviously not absolutely everything goes to plan, which is,
I think that's why a lot of travelers are big researchers as well before, because you kind of go on a destination, there's no one has booked a holiday and they've not researched at all where they're going. Or do we have someone else? But nine times out of 10 people have like kind of researched where what's near, where to go, where to eat, if you're gonna enjoy. And I think that last minute plan, you might not have the time to research it, so it could not be, maybe you saw this really nice hotel and it doesn't live up to the expectations because that research aspect wasn't involved. And I think especially if maybe you've not seen, I think with me, I went to Paris, I didn't really research it that much. I booked a hotel and didn't realize actually how far away it was from the center of Paris.
So many times.
So we had to get like a train into the center to then go and explore, because that's obviously in Paris, there's nothing on the outskirts. You can't just go wandering around outside of Paris. So obviously everything's inside, like, the Eiffel Tower. So then we had to keep getting the train in, and then the train stopped at like 11 o'clock. So then after that, we'd have to pay extortionate amount of like taxis to get back. And then it was kind of like we were restricted of what we could do in the evening, because we knew we had to get back to our hotel because there was no other way back.
Oh, that is such a nightmare. No, I've done that. So, to be fair, I did it when I was in Amsterdam, but it actually wasn't too bad because it was literally like one train stop, and the trains in Amsterdam are absolutely 10 out of 10.
They are.
Like, I was like, wow, this is amazing. They're on time. They're so clean. Fantastic. So I suppose what kind of unexpected adventures also are a little bit of a part of it as well, like
Yeah.
spontaneous travel wise.
Definitely. I think TikTok has a massive influence on last minute spontaneous travel. Like those videos, if you just type in the search box, last minute spontaneous travel, so many people are like, oh, just gone to Ibiza for 12 hours and then gone back, which is actually what spurred onto me and my friends. We did 12 hours in Ibiza because we thought, you know, we're getting it all. And like seeing people like, you know, get up in the morning, get on their flight, go to the beach, go to Ushuaia, and then get the plane home.
It's so exciting.
Which it actually was so exciting. When we booked our tickets, we were like, this is fun. The only con was that the flights, because it was mid-August, the flights were double what they would have been. And then obviously like accommodation would have been even more extortionate. So we just thought we're going to just pay a flight back.
I'm here for it. I'm so here for it. 100%. Dublin. Can't wait.
Dublin, yeah.
Dublin. I keep talking about it. I'm manifesting
24 hours. Yeah. I think, and it's such a big thing now. People are just going for the day, extreme day trips. They're not even booking accommodation because it's just so expensive, especially for last minute. You know, it's really difficult to get a last minute spontaneous holiday without having that big budget.
Yeah, definitely. There's so many groups that like pre-organize stuff like that as well. Like I see them all the time. I think is it like Hot Girls Flight Club or something like that? I think there's one based in Manchester. I think that's what it's called. There's a girl that runs that, and that is literally just all extreme day trips, like for like 12 plus hours, whatever. I think it's fantastic. Yeah, especially if you want to travel more.
Yeah, and I think it's so good for us as well because we're so close to Europe as well, so it's not even far for you. It's like, or you can even get the train to Paris. Go to Paris for the day. It's like less. I think it's less than a flight, and you just get on and you have your big bag. You can bring as much snacks and food as you want, and drinks, and then you just whiz off to Paris and back.
Perfect. Bon voyage.
Bon voyage.
So I suppose then, what would kind of be best practices that you'd have for like booking, whether it's like being spontaneous or anything like that? Is there any kind of recommendations that you'd give people?
Yeah, I think for spontaneous travel, especially, I think you have to be open with kind of the dates and where you want to go and the destination. I don't think you could have that spontaneous aspect if like you want to go to this place here on this time. I think you have to be open-minded about the dates, destination you want to go. And I think like definitely, because there are so many different platforms for you to have that, like again, like Skyscanner with their different like flights, and there's so many platforms that can give you that spontaneous like aspect. But I do think you have to think about where is it, where I want to go, what I want to do. I think you really need to kind of like think about it. And I think that's why, again, like the with like a venture flight again and like Skyscanner, because it's obviously like buy now, pay later, and with like transfer travel you have that aspect, because I think people when they're going on the platform you can't really have a set kind of date in mind that you want to go. I think it's very open for how spontaneous you want to be and how that kind of excitement, I think it kind of gives you that freedom to be like, oh, I'm going to book here. Go.
Yeah, why not? Okay, so I'm going to quiz you right now. So we're going to go back to school. So I just have kind of like quick fire last minute questions I'm going to ask and you're going to answer them. You have to.
Yeah. No choice.
Okay, wait. First thing, what's one app that you'd recommend for a last minute trip?
Ooh, that is a good question.
Okay, it's supposed to be quick.
I'm just going to say basic Skyscanner.
No, you can't say that. You've already said that.
Oh, I don't know. Another one. To be fair, Airbnb are pretty good. They've got some pretty good deals, and they give you, because my friend, she always books her holidays with the girls group chat. It's always her. She has such good discounts because she has an Airbnb account, so she gets like 40% off on different
that's so good.
Like accommodations within the area. So we're looking at going to Portugal for a girls trip, and she was like, "I'll book it because I've got a 40% off that I can use on Airbnb."
Oh, that's so good. God, little life hack. Good. Okay, fine, I'll accept that. Next one, what's the cheapest trip you've ever booked?
Cheapest trip I've ever booked, probably I went to Barcelona, and that was actually a pretty spontaneous trip as well. I don't know if I could really say my my best friend is an air hostess, so I did have it discounted on flights. But our accommodation was, I think it was only, we went for the weekend, and I think it was only like £50
wow, that's
per person. Cheap. And then we had £20 flights, so it was pretty cheap. So and we booked it only the weekend before, so we met up, and then we were like, should we go on holiday? We have a free weekend, so then we went to Barcelona.
Yeah, why not? Oh, I love that. What's the most last minute trip you booked then? Would you say it would be Barcelona, or would it be?
I think either Barcelona or Ibiza, because we did only book that one. My friend was like, I want to go on holiday for my birthday. Yeah. I want to go to Ibiza for the day. And we were like, okay. And then we booked it.
That's such a weird.
Because it was easy to book it so last minute because there was no accommodation we had to look for. It was just flights. Yeah. And there's loads of flights going back and forth.
So true. That was, to be fair, that was like when I went to, where the hell did I go? Oh, when I went to Brussels. But that was a whole nightmare in itself. But when I was actually in Brussels, obviously, Belgium's, how would I describe it? There's not much to do. It's very pretty, and they do really good chocolate.
Belgium.
No. What?
Example A. Research where you're going.
Don't do what I did. Yeah, there was not much for us to do. But when I was there researching it, there wasn't actually loads for us to do. So then I was like, do you know what? We'll just go somewhere else. Went to the train station. Antwerp looks good. Let's go there. Then just got on the train. So that was a slide. That was actually fantastic. It was so much nicer. I wish I would have gone there. I would have planned. I would have known. What's your best unexpected adventure?
Ooh, probably when I went interrailing with my friend. Well, actually, I lie. It wasn't really interrailing. It was plane railing. Because again, we went to, where did we go? Prague, Berlin, Budapest, and Amsterdam for a month. So we went, but instead of interrailing around it, we just plane hopped.
So you got on a plane instead?
Plane railing.
Does that not defeat the point?
Because in my defense, it was cheaper to fly than it was to get the train.
Oh, fair.
That was a lot of fun to see all the different sites. And it was kind of fun to kind of see which we liked better, what had more to offer.
Did you like Prague?
I did love Prague. And I also thought on Get Your Guide, there's so many different tours that you can do. So we did a tour in each country that we went to, and to just kind of see which we thought was better. And Prague was definitely the best. We did a little tour around Prague, saw all the sights. And it's just like super easy, great place to like meet new friends as well, which was really fun.
I love that. That's so good. What about the biggest mistake you've made traveling last minute?
I would say I'd already said mine. It was Paris and not researching, and then not looking, because we had to it was like a train in and out of Paris, because we were like, oh, cheap accommodation, perfect, and then I did not Google how far away it was. So I think definitely if you want to be spontaneous, look at how far away your accommodation is to the central of your destination.
Be spontaneous, but realistic.
Be mindful.
Yeah, just think. What about the most spontaneous trip you ever booked then or ever taken? What do you think? I was thinking about it before because I thought probably traveling, but I thought no, it won't be. It'll be skiing. That'd be my spontaneous trip.
To be fair, I booked my flights for skiing 2 weeks before we were going.
That was a bit wild.
So that was pretty
She was spontaneous.
She was very spontaneous.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for answering all my amazing questions and joining me. And thanks for joining. We'll see you next time.